Hi, my name's Jack Bailey, and welcome to the Blue Line Report. We have a great episode for you today. Later in the show, we talk to Owen O'Kane for another segment of Hockey Talk. But first, we talk to Jordan and Keegan from the Little Hockey Podcast. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jack.
Hey,
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no
yeah, thanks a
problem.
lot, Jack.
So today, you guys have already covered the Bobby Ryan and Craig Anderson stuff, but I just wanted to briefly touch on it. So I know, Keegan, you're very strongly opinionated on this topic. So what are your thoughts?
Whenever a rebuilding team loses some fan favorites and some veterans, it's always a hard time. Like we were saying before on our podcast, I went on a bit of a heated rant. I was very emotional then. I've calmed down since. But basically, it sucks to see those fan favorites leave, especially like Craig Anderson is the best goalie in franchise history. Borowiecki was a great player and a great off-ice guy who's just someone you love to have in your community and on your team. And with Bobby Ryan and everything he went through this year, to see him leave in an unceremonious manner like that, it makes it tough to swallow. Because like for guys like Pajot, Carlson, and Stone, we at least got something back for them. For these guys, like all we did was say goodbye, and it's just like that's hard. That's tough, but it's a rebuilding team. I'm excited to see the kids, and we just gotta have faith in the kids and in the management squad, and hope for the best whenever the season starts.
With Bobby Ryan and Craig Anderson, they have really been the faces of this Ottawa Senators team when they were in the Erik Karlsson, Mark Stone, and later Daniel Alfredsson era. I think at the end of the day, Bobby Ryan and Craig Anderson will forever be an Ottawa Senator, and they will always be. I know he had that little stint with Anaheim at the start of his career, but he's an Ottawa Senator, and I think he will be remembered as an Ottawa Senator. Same with Craig Anderson. But do you think? I feel like Borowiecki has been dragged through the mud with this with this franchise. Doing that dreaded interview with Melnick,
Oh
and
God.
just letting him go for nothing. Do you think there's a little resentment there?
I think there was actually no. I was going to say I think there was a deal made that wasn't kept, but as reports came out after Borowiecki's agent announced that he was going into free agency, it seemed like Dorian was saying stuff in the media but wasn't following through with it behind the scenes. Like he said he wanted to make Borowiecki a sense for life, and according to Borowiecki and his agent, when Dorian was saying that, there wasn't even any contract talk going on. So when you hear stuff like that, it makes you lose faith in the franchise and faith in some management. Do I think there's a bit of resentment? I think there's some hurt feelings. I don't know if I would go as far to say as Borowiecki's like angry with the team. I think he's disappointed in them and how they were handling someone that had turned from, because for a while Borowiecki was the Senators' whipping boy. When he first came into the league, he was this fighter, grinder, like tough guy, and a lot of the Sens fans, myself included, were saying like, why is he in the lineup? Like he's just our Carpenter replacement. Like there's no point for him to be here. But then over the years, he changed his game. He started showing his intangibles off the ice, and that's what really endeared him to fans. That's what really endeared him to myself. And like, that's not someone you should be pushing around like the Sens seem to have done. But I think Borowiecki being Borowiecki, resentment is a little strong. He's probably just disappointed, and he said, you know what? I know I'm worth more than this, so he's going to go find someone who's going to give him what he's worth.
Yeah, and speaking to that, Keegs, like Borowiecki's the kind of player that he wouldn't have cost the Senators a lot to keep in order to be that off-ice positive influence on the new players coming in. He's already really familiar with the community. He's well entrenched in the community as being somebody that he goes to a lot of events. You see him around town. He's recognizable to the citizens of Ottawa, and it really sucks that the team didn't see that value or didn't value it enough to bring him back for another year where, let's face it, they're probably not going to be competing for a playoff spot. So what's the harm in having Borowiecki around for another year or two, and then maybe you move on from him at that point? But all the power to him, because this is his opportunity to go and cash in on a longer term, larger salary deal with another team. And he may be able to get that extra year or two from somebody else that he wasn't going to be able to get from Ottawa.
I agree. A lot of people are talking about like, hey, they're doing it because they want to bring, in the Borowiecki case, they're doing it because they want to bring in like younger defensemen, give them chances in the lineup. But honestly, like, is it that important that Josh Brown gets more minutes or Christian Wollane? Like, I think Mark Borowiecki was the backbone of this Ottawa Senators team. He was the heart, and he was their leader. I'm not sure. I mean, Shabbat and Kachuk someday will be great or obviously great players, but great leaders as well. I'm just not sure if they're there yet. I'm not sure if Brady Kachuk or Tom Shabbat want to take on that role of leading this whole Ottawa Senators team into battle. Like, Mark Borowiecki was the defined leader, even though he didn't have a C on his chest. You could still see him that he was the obvious leader on this team, and I don't know why Ottawa did it.
Yeah,
I really don't.
And that's the same thing that Keegan and I have been saying since it happened too, was that he doesn't have to be the captain to be a leader. He doesn't have to even be an assistant captain to be a leader. He just has to be in there and be a positive influence on the younger players and help guys like Kachuk and Shabbat grow into those leadership roles. And a lot of teams pay a lot more money than what Borowiecki is going to get for that kind of influence. And yeah, the Senators are definitely going to miss him when he's gone.
I feel like one thing that the Senators, this is just me speculating here. To your point, Jack, on Shabbat and Kachuk and becoming the future leaders, if you talk to a lot of the players, Kachuk's already the leader in the locker room. He speaks up in between periods. He does a lot of press conferences, and he's kind of the guy that the team already looks up to, even though he's only 20, turning 21 soon. Shabbat is, from what I have read and seen, more of a quiet leader, kind of just does his thing on the ice and doesn't really say too much in between periods. But maybe the team feels like those guys are ready for that next step, and that's why they felt comfortable letting Borowiecki go to free agency. But I don't know. Again, this is just me speculating. If that's the case, then I think that's great to hear that Shabbat and Kachuk are ready to take that next step. But it's still coming at the cost of Borowiecki, like we've all been saying. Like, it's just why? Why did you do that and then go get a guy who basically does the exact same thing, just on the other side of the ice?
I have a question for the Ottawa Senators and just that organization because I feel like there's a difference between like rebuilding, bringing in new pieces, getting rid of the old, and absolutely blowing up the team. And I feel like Ottawa has crossed that line of just absolutely blowing up the team. Yes, they have a bunch of great prospects, but Ottawa, like, in their rebuilding, this draft Tuesday is going to really shape this Ottawa franchise for the future, but they don't really have a plan. With Toronto and their rebuild, you could see as soon as they got Matthews, they got Marner, and they signed Tavares, like, oh, this is going to be a skilled team. Toronto's plan is we're going to outskill you. We're going to outplay you. We're going to be faster than you. We're going to be more skilled than you. Where Ottawa doesn't necessarily have really that plan,
Well, it kind of seems like what the Senators are going for is they're putting a big emphasis on players who have very good skating, and they're putting a huge emphasis on forechecking and team defense. So the Senators won't be a team like the Leafs in the sense that they'll be able to just come down and outskill you. That won't be necessarily the Senators' game. Their game is going to be similar to kind of what I saw in like the early 2010s Los Angeles Kings, in that they're going to put it in the corner, beat the crap out of you in that corner, come out with the puck and score. And then if that doesn't work, then they'll come back as a 5-man unit and defend so that they can come back and do it again. They're going to be like a wave team. Rather than coming in, playing to the outside, blasting the puck, they're just going to come at you with a wave of physicality and speed. And you're either going to weather it and then get shut down by their defense, or you're not going to be able to handle it because it's coming over and over again, and that's how they'll capitalize. That seems to be the coaching mentality of DJ Smith, when he was in the CHL. That's what he did. He really put an emphasis on forechecking and forwards coming back out to help the D, which kind of seems like basic hockey in that regard. But we've seen it before and how effective it can be. And if you have skilled players that forecheck like that, you can make a lot of good things happen.
Yeah, and Jack, to go back to what you said about the Senators with their rebuild and stripping it down, like if you look at what the Leafs did, they kept a lot of the players from before they tore everything down. And now you're just starting to see those guys leave the organization. Like last summer, Nazem Kadri was gone, and he had spent 2 seasons playing with the new core. Morgan Riley is still with the team. He's the longest serving Leaf.
JVR.
Yeah, and there was JVR as well, and Bozak from a couple of years ago. So the Leafs kept some of those guys around to help the new players get acclimated to the league and to help them develop. And then when they were getting towards the end of their contract or they were surpassed by younger players, that's when they were moved out. But it doesn't seem like Ottawa's doing that same thing.
That's exactly what Ottawa's doing.
I would disagree.
That's literally exactly what Ottawa is doing.
No, because like I get it with Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson is older, and you've got some younger players. Bobby Ryan, like the difference between Ottawa and what Toronto was doing was that Ottawa is so far below the salary cap or the salary floor, that why are they getting rid of larger salary players that are going to be playing in their bottom 6 anyways? If you want to bring your highly skilled young players up and try them out in a top 6 role, Bobby Ryan's not taking their spot because he's playing in the bottom 6. Mark Borowiecki is a little bit different because there's fewer available roster spots for defensemen than there are for forwards. But that being said, you can you make the younger guys earn their spot. You don't come into camp expecting that they're going to be ready. You get them to show that they are, and then if you have to move a veteran player out, you're probably going to be more likely to be able to do that during the season once other teams start having injuries or they start seeing how their roster is performing in actual games. So, stripping it right down to the bare bones during your rebuild is it's rough because it can be hard to build it back up when you've just got a skeleton left to build onto. You can see that with the Buffalo Sabres. They still don't have a significant amount of pieces that can help Jack Eichel. He's basically trying to drag a corpse around with them on the ice every night. And so it's just Ottawa's going to need to find some veteran guys this offseason. And it's just too bad because they had a couple of them already that could have helped the development of the young players.
I don't think and this is why I'm still mind boggled by the decision to let Borowiecki go. I guarantee you he will not be signed a cent over $800,000. He will not be an over $800,000 player. He won't in the NHL because you have players like veteran players, because that's what he is. If he's going to be brung on to a team, he's going to be most likely brung on to a contending team who needs grit, who needs veteran experience, who needs that wisdom from a veteran player. And not necessarily in the grit aspect, but for the veteran aspect, I see a comparable player in Jason Spezza with the Toronto Maple Leafs, where he only got
he got league minimum. It was like $700,000.
Yeah, he got Jason Spezza. He got $700,000. Yeah. So, I don't. It's obviously not a financial decision because even if he asked for $1 million, Ottawa has enough room. Ottawa has plenty of room to sign for the $1 million. So I get, and they're gonna play it off as unless, and the only reason like I can justify this for Ottawa is unless they go and pick a Sanderson or a Drysdale at the draft and expect him to come in right away.
Right.
Which would be expecting way too much. There are as high and as high potential and as great as this draft really seems like it's going to be. how many of those guys are NHL ready right now? You could probably say Lafreniere. A lot of people are saying Marco Rossi. Tim Stützle's name's been thrown around. And then after that, everyone's saying everyone else could use a bit more development, but they have a high ceiling, right? So no matter who the Senators are going to get, I don't think their decision at the draft is what justifies the people they're getting rid of and letting walk now. Because like drafting Yaroslav Askarov doesn't justify letting Anderson go now. What justifies letting Anderson go now is you have players that can fill that void, and Anderson is out of his career basically. Like he's 39 turning 40. If he signs with anyone, that's also going to be a league min deal, and he's just going to be a third string goalie. I love Craig Anderson, but like he's not an NHL starter for sure. And you can make the argument that he's not an NHL backup anymore either. Bobby Ryan, as much as I love him, Jordan, you said it on our show, and after thinking about it, I think I agree with you. Like he's a bottom 6 to depth guy at best now. So like he's not really going to be commanding too much money. So like getting rid of him isn't going to be justified by drafting Lucas Raymond. Getting rid of him is justified by the fact that, like, well, for any other team other than the Sens, getting rid of him would be justified by the fact that you're trying to shed cap space and trying to shed some money. Ottawa obviously has a lot of cap space, and they have the money, and they need to spend the money. So that's where that doesn't make sense. But it's just we have guys in goalie and defense and forward that can fill in the gaps that it seems like we have. Like Norris, Batherson, Formanton are 3 guys on forward that are probably going to make the jump this year to full-time NHLers. Brady Tkachuk's already up there. Chris Tierney, they got to re-sign. Connor Brown, they got to re-sign. Anthony Duclair, they got to re-sign, which those signings taking this long is a little concerning, but that's another topic. On defense, like on the left side, you've got Shabbat Wolanin and Mike Riley. Wolanin, if it wasn't for being injured, would have been a top 4 defenseman on the Sens anyway. Like he is very, very good. I like watching him in the AHL and watching even the games he played in the NHL last year. He is an NHL defenseman already. On the right side, it gets a little weird because you got Zaitsev, Zub, and now we just got Brown. It doesn't look like they're bringing Hainsey back, even though Hainsey said that he wants to continue playing. And I forget where I was going with this tangent, not going to lie. I was making all these points, and I had a thought in my head that I wanted to wrap it all together, and I completely forget what it was. Crap.
Segue to
there we go. Thanks for the save.
Yeah, exactly. No problem. So what are you guys' thoughts on the worst kept secret in the NHL, the new Ottawa Senators logo?
Oh, they've been talking about that for years. That was supposed to get done in 2016.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the logo. Like they leaked someone from The Athletic leaked the logo in July,
something
Haley,
like that. Haley Salvi.
She had an article about it, and there's been a ton of
like a few months now.
Yeah. But for me, like that's the logo that the Senators had when I was growing up. Essentially, there's some minor tweaks to it. I've always kind of thought that on its own, like just by itself, it's kind of boring and bland. But it looks great on like the black or the white uniforms. And
it does.
The whole look is great. So it's exciting to see them go back to that. I do hope that they modernize the uniforms a bit instead of just if they go straight back to let's take the exact same template and pop it on the new jerseys. Done.
I have a bad feeling they will do.
That would be a bit
it seems like it.
But if they toss in a couple of like new little updates, that would be very, very cool. Even just some subtle things.
Or maybe they pull a Vegas and just do it all gold.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear, I'm gonna burn that jersey. Yeah. Like you said, Jack, like it's the worst kept secret in hockey. This like however many years has been talking about. I know in Ottawa, people have been like kind of known that this rebrand was going to be coming for years. And like apparently the NHL got really mad at the Senators organization that everything got leaked so easily. So like I don't really like I like the I don't remember the black jerseys. I was not old enough to remember them. I've obviously seen like clips and pictures of what they look like,
Yeah.
but like to me, I associate the Sens with the white jersey a lot, and the first red 3D one and the black 3D jersey. I was kind of
The big eyes.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, the big
eye.
eyes and that inexplicable huge like sash across. Yeah, from the like right shoulder down to the left side. Yeah, it was a weird design, but I will say though that black jersey was pretty good with the
it was
the same pattern that's around the outside of the Senators' face on the logo, just at the bottom, like that. That's a pretty cool. That black jersey always looked really, really good.
Yeah. Like I'm wearing an O sweater right now, and that's what kind of I was hoping they would do. But
same here. I like that logo design.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Not many people agree with me on that. I like the O logo.
I like the O. So I live right beside a giant tiger, and
so you got all the details. Nice.
I've seen multiple I've these stickers. I've seen sweatshirts with this logo like in August.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, they really failed on this.
That's crazy.
That's horrible.
I don't know how that happens because by all accounts, this rebrand wasn't really solidified until like partway through the summer.
Yeah.
So I don't get how they just let Giant Tiger and all of these other places release all of this merchandise before they even announced that they were doing it.
Yeah.
So it definitely seemed like all of those leaks led to the NHL putting some pressure onto the team to just be like, just tell everybody you're doing it. They know already. So that's why the rebrand was kind of announced without any bells and whistles or ceremony or anything. It just came out in a press conference online or a press release online, and that was it. So
it's just hitting
kind of a disappointing release, but it does seem like Christian Wolanin hinted this weekend about like
a jersey change.
Well, yeah, he said that the jersey is going to be released on Tuesday night during the draft, and he teased it a little bit because the Senators, I think, sent him the jersey. Yeah, and he just had like the bag packaging with the Sens logo on it, and he's like, "Here we go, Tuesday night. Get ready, everyone."
Well, yeah, because with the new the Vegas Golden Knights just announced their third jersey.
Yeah,
and I think they're probably why each player probably got these jerseys is because when the Vegas Golden Knights, they kept it a little more secretive, but I think a lot of people figured they'd go for a golden jersey. We'll get to your opinions on that jersey. My opinions in a second, but well, you see in the promotions, like you see Jonathan Marchessault wearing the jersey like on practice and stuff. You see, what's the rapper, the guy who was in the promo? I think Lil Wayne. He was wearing the jersey. Some Vegas guy, they had a promo on their Instagram. It is amazing.
Is it good?
It's very good. I recommend you check it out. But yeah, so I think that's probably why they got the jerseys early. But yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna need to give it out to some of their players, and Wolanin was a good one because early on in the summer when it was kind of more frequently coming out that the Senators were going back to this look, he put some stuff online saying like, oh yeah, like I'm excited. This would be great if we could wear these jerseys. Like I'd be so hyped about it. So they picked the right guy to kind of give everybody a taste of what's to come, because it seems like he's the conductor on the hype train for this rebrand.
Oh yeah, and Sens fans really do like Wolanin. Like they really like the guy. They think he's going to be like a solid like middle to bottom pairing guy who could do your second power play. And he seems like just a genuinely good person as well. But I'm looking at the Vegas. I'm looking at the Instagram page now. They've got
Lil Wayne and this guy.
This one has a C on it.
Oh yeah, that's just to show you what it looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so did they announce a captain?
No,
they haven't done that yet.
No, on the back of that one it just says Vegas.
Does it? Oh yeah, I see it right now. Okay. Because I saw one of the promos that Pacioretty was wearing the one that had a C on it, And I'm like, why the heck
Yeah.
is Pacioretty the
Oh my
captain?
God.
I think
Yeah.
Mark Stone should be the next or the first captain of that team.
I think so. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the jersey?
I like it.
You like it?
I like I think that the NHL needs a bit more personality and flash like the other leagues, like football and basketball, because that's the stuff that gets more fans drawn to it. Because hockey's a great sport, like to watch. It's exciting, it's fast, and once you understand the rules, you realize it's a great sport to watch. It's my favorite to watch, but you need to get people invested in it, and having personalities, having a bit of showboating. That's what gets you involved in it. And hockey players traditionally are very much guys who are like, show up to the ice, do their thing, give their press conference, go home. They don't like to say anything or do anything controversial. And hockey organizations are the same. Like, they like to keep everything pretty low key and just keep to the status quo. So having a bit of flash like that and seeing a team actually pull off a yellow third jersey properly, unlike that god awful mustard Nashville jersey that was in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
I like this. I really do. The teams whose third jersey I'm most excited to see whenever they do it, because I don't think it'll be this year, is Seattle.
That will be a nice with the the hook. With the
There's been a few concept arts about it, and I really like the Seattle jerseys as well. I'll be excited to see what the Sens third jersey is. But yeah, that Vegas jersey, like I might get one. I honestly might get one. I really like it.
Yeah, my only complaint with it is that they still used their primary logo on the front. Like I like it when you kind of change up the logo for your third jersey. But apart from that, if any other team in the league tried to do a sparkling gold jersey, I think everyone would be like, no, get out of here. That's dumb. But because it's Vegas, it's like
can pull it off. Yeah.
Vegas can pull it off. No problem. Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's actual sparkles on it.
Yes. No, it's glittery. It's very,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have multiple opinions on this. I really like it. I think it's awesome that like you said, jerseys are fun to look at, fun to review and stuff. And they're fun part of sports, and I love just the out there jerseys. Like, you're never talking about, let's take basketball. You're never talking about the Knicks jerseys. You're talking about the Raptors purple dinosaur jerseys. You're always talking about the out. Right, exactly. You're always talking about the out there jerseys, and I really like this. So I think it's great that they're doing an out there jersey. I also think it kind of looks like that mustard Nashville Predator jersey with glitter on it. So
it's a bit of a brighter yellow.
I think the problem with that Nashville jersey was more so the logo that they used than necessarily
it looked like a
the
sad
color.
Skeleton.
It was really not a great 3D front-facing Predator that they had on there. It was kind of like in the really early 2000s, the Boston Bruins also had a bright yellow jersey too, and I think they called it like the Winnie the Pooh jersey or something like that.
With the bear head on it?
Yeah, it had a bear head on it, but it was not popular with their team or with their fans. But whenever I was playing like NHL 2002 and I was against the Bruins, I always made them wear it, so...
Do you guys play the NHL video game series?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. So
I'm buying the PS5 specifically so that I can get NHL 21 on it.
21. So I have every game since NHL 14. So I've got every Christmas. I ask for it. It's amazing. I love the NHL.
Yeah. We've got NHL 2002 till 2020.
Oh.
Better
collection.
I had what was it? I started off with NHL 96, then 99, 2000, 2002, 4.
We have 3. Ginla's on it. We have it. I have it.
We got it way after that though. 02, 04, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. The only one since 2005 that I've skipped was 2015, I think. But
I got 2015.
The new gen.
Yeah.
With Bergeron on the cover.
Yeah.
One thing, just to bring it back to the jersey talk. I don't know if this is true or not. Do you guys know why Nashville uses the saber-toothed tiger as their logo?
Oh, because when they got their expansion team, there were some fossils of like a saber-toothed cat that were found nearby or within the state. So then, yeah, they decided on predators, and then that's what their logo was. It was, yeah, in honor or in recognition of these ancient fossils being found kind of in the state.
Yeah, okay. See, the story I heard was that they were dug up when they were digging the foundation for the arena.
Oh, that could very well be it.
Yeah, so there was an actual. So that's the story I heard, was that there was an actual saber-toothed fossil, like underneath where the arena now stands.
Yeah, and that would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. That's a pretty good logo origin right there.
Definitely better than the Raptors origin, which was Jurassic Park was a popular movie when they got the team. So they're like, the Raptors, we'll just do that. Zero tie to the city or whatever. Oh yeah, like now it's like, oh well, yeah, of course, the Raptors, great name. But
let's take the bad guy from the best villain from this movie.
Yeah.
And that's our logo.
Someone's going to come out and be the Joker soon.
Yeah.
So free agency is coming up.
Mm.
If you're a Leaf fan, you have one name in particular on your mind. That name is Alexander Pietrangelo.
Yes, yeah. It seems like all of the talk is around what the Leafs can do in order to get Pietrangelo to sign with them. I think the most likely thing that happens is that he stays with St. Louis. It seems like a lot of the stuff that has been coming out recently is just kind of negotiating tactics to try to get St. Louis to commit to him more than what they have so far. If he does leave, I think that the Leafs would have to do too much roster surgery in order to fit him in. They'd have to move out some forwards making decent money, like Andreas Janssen or Alex Kerfoot. And then they also wouldn't be able to patch up some other holes on defense, like their second or third pair. So for me, like, I'm fine if we don't get him. If the Leafs do sign him, like, I don't know, he's a 30-year-old defenseman. He's going to be declining soon in all likelihood. And as a free agent, he's going to be looking for 7 years, right? He's not going to want to have to do this again in 2 years or something. So he's going to be looking for long-term big money. And, you know, as good as he is, I just don't think it's the right fit for the team right now based off of what our salary structure is like and the number of people we'd have to move out in order to fit him in. And then that just creates more holes. I think it's because on the other hand, it's going to be hard to find other right-handed shot defensemen because number one, there just always isn't a ton of them. And number two, the players that are available in unrestricted free agency aren't awesome. And the players available via trade are going to be expensive to get. So it's going to be really hard for the Leafs to kind of fill that hole on right defense. Looking through The Athletic, they've had some articles out recently. Some of the suggestions of players that they had were Damon Severson from the New Jersey Devils, Adam Larson from Edmonton Oilers, and Josh Manson from Anaheim. And all of those players, for the most part, are going to be pretty expensive to acquire.
Yeah.
Larson maybe less so, because he's kind of shown himself to be like a second or third pair defenseman on a good team. But Damon Severson's pretty young, and Josh Manson is really, really good. So it's going to cost a lot to get any of those guys.
Taylor Hall.
Adam Larson worth Taylor Hall. Yeah.
Well, depending on who you ask, Cody Cece's worth Taylor Hall as well.
Yeah, jeez, holy smokes!
I was not a fan of Cody Cece.
Well, like before the Larson for Hall trade happened, Peter Chiarelli offered Ottawa Hall for Cece straight up, and Ottawa said no.
Yeah. Well, Cece also could have been traded for Cece also could have been traded for Jonathan Drouin if those rumors are true. So it's like, So
a lot of people had a lot of faith in what Cece could be because that was right after he got like an 11 or 12 goal season, which is for a defenseman is pretty good.
Yeah,
and then he just was downhill from there.
he just he
very
just
high
doesn't
ceiling.
have he doesn't have the hockey sense to play defense in his own zone. Like he loses guys in coverage all the time. He just watches the puck a lot. You know, he kind of plays defense like I do, where I stand in one spot, kind of like watch the puck go around, and then I'm like, oh yeah, geez, there's other guys on their team that are in our zone. I've got to find one of them and try to not let them score, and they scored. Ah, geez.
There you go, Jordan. You could be a $4.5 million defenseman in the league.
Hey, you know, I've put it
Hey!
out. I've put it out on our podcast a bunch of times. I'll put it out here on the Blue Line Report. Kyle Dubas, if you're listening, I'm a right-handed shot defenseman. I'll take league minimum for like 2 or 3 years to play right D on your third pair. So, yeah,
Just putting it out there.
yeah, just putting that out there.
Say, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
So, as Leaf fans, you guys, are there any restricted free agents that, like, I'm just looking at Cap Friendly right now to see if there are any good restricted free agents that could fit the Leafs? Because, like, if anyone's going to be able to finagle that, I feel like you guys will, because you'll be able to offer these players massive signing bonuses, because MLSE is just a never-ending well of money.
Well, the one issue with restricted free agents, I don't think the Leafs are in a position to sign any of them because you have to own your own draft picks in order to sign a restricted free agent.
The only one they do not have is next year's third. That's it.
Yeah,
They have
and then it kind of limits you to which players you can sign to an offer sheet then, because of if you don't have your third round pick, then that's gonna, you know, you're not going to be able to offer players a certain amount of money, because you would need to give up your third in order to meet the compensation requirements. So in all likelihood, the more realistic thing would be for them to acquire via trade
and then
an unsigned restricted free agent and then sign them afterwards. Yeah.
Rather than doing the offer sheet.
Yeah, rather than doing an offer sheet. And by all accounts, like the other thing too is that offer sheets don't happen. As much as it sucks, as much as we want to see them happen, they just don't. NHL GMs they don't want to do it because there's way too much heat that comes down on them if it doesn't work out. So yeah, like now I'm just looking at the restricted free agent list and like Brandon Montour, Troy Stetcher.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Ryan Pollock.
You really want to give up a first round pick for those guys? Like,
yeah.
Well, depending on how much they sign for, like you're not going to be giving up a first round pick, right? But then again,
the only guy on this list, the only guy on this list that is kind of intriguing would be Mackenzie Weegar, because he's been pointed out as being kind of up and coming, even for a 26-year-old. Cap Friendly has him as a left D, even though he shoots right.
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, I suppose. It's kind of a weird thing, you know, if you're a right shooting defenseman, I don't see why you would take away a bunch of your value by playing on your offside, but whatever. Yeah, Mackenzie Weegar has been a guy that a lot of people have pointed out as somebody that the Leafs could acquire. The issue with him is that he'll be expensive to get in a trade because Florida seems to value him a lot. And then beyond those guys, like I don't see a ton of names on here that I think are going to be impact players. Like Anthony D'Angelo, maybe, but you know he's got some off-ice stuff that I don't really want.
Yeah, he just got 53 points in 68 games as a defenseman.
Yeah,
I think New York's gonna lock him up just because New York, they got Lafreniere, they want to move forward really quick.
Yeah,
that's fair.
They want to keep Zibanejad. If I'm New York, I want to. We're going all the way next year. If I'm New York, because. You know, who knows how Zibanejad is 2 years from now. Panarin's always going to be a superstar, but who knows? Like Zibanejad is like on the cuff of being a superstar. He's an all-star right now. I don't know if that will be the case in 2 years.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, New York is going to have to really push. They're going to get a free superstar in the draft, and then after that,
potentially,
and then after that, they've probably got some money that they can spend in free agency to get some either more depth players, or maybe they could go after some of those higher priced guys in order to solidify their offense a bit. Like, I haven't really heard Taylor Hall to the Rangers a whole lot, but like he could be a guy that they go after. Even though I don't really know what their cap situation is, I've got to pull it up on Cap Friendly here. But
I think their biggest need is a second line center, because they had Ryan Strome there, and he just had a career year and his contract's up. But he had a career because he was playing with Artemi Panarin.
Oh yeah, the Rangers have a ton of cap space. They're below the floor. So they can spend quite a bit of money this offseason.
Do you think? Yeah, exactly. Do you think they move Panarin to the right side to pair him alongside to have that super line of Zibanejad, Lafreniere? Because it's gonna be Lafreniere. You can't tell me otherwise. It's gonna be Lafreniere.
Oh, for sure.
First overall, not even guess. But do you move Panarin to the right side, or do you move Lafreniere, this young kid, to the right side?
I think they'll keep both of them on the left side because they want to try and get Capo Caco going, and he plays right.
Oh yeah, he exists.
Yeah. So your top line's either going to be Panarin, Zibanejad, Caco, or Lafreniere, Zibanejad, Caco. The Rangers are like they got
Rangers are pretty well set up. Yeah,
they got to figure out their second line center thing, because I don't know if Ryan Strome is going to be a perennial 50-point getter like he was this year. But I mean, if he plays with Panarin for the rest of his career, you never know.
Yeah.
For them, I don't see them switching Zibanejad Panarin over to this offside. Why switch him over when he just got nominated for the Hart? You know, you don't really want to mess with a system that isn't broken. Adding Lafreniere will give them all kinds of offensive bonuses. I don't know them or their roster well enough to kind of speak beyond those star players, plus Ryan Strome. Like, they just got rid of Stahl to shed some salary. So I don't know if that's so that they can sign guys that like sign their own RFAs, or if they're looking to maybe make another splash in free agency. Like, who knows? Maybe the friggin' Rangers go out and sign Pietrangelo. Imagine that.
Yeah, and they've got the cap space to do it. And yeah, Keegs, I'm looking at the Rangers Cap Friendly, and they do have quite a few players to re-sign, but they also have 7 players on their NHL roster that are on their entry-level contract right now. So that's huge. That's the kind of value that you look for in your young players. Like, if you 7 guys on their entry-level deals
that's why they need to win the cup this year.
Look at their buyout list too.
Yeah, they need to go deep. Yeah, they've still got Brad Richards as on their buyout, even though they're not. It doesn't actually count anything. But yeah, Dan Girardi, Ryan Spooner, Kevin Shattenkirk, Henrik Lundqvist. Yeah, that's a lot of guys that they're paying that aren't on the team. But
it's a lot of wasted cap space.
It is, and even like that's $13 million this coming season, and they're still way below the floor. That's crazy. But they've got a ton of extensions and stuff coming up after next season. They've got to re-sign Pavel Buchnevich, Philip Chytil, I don't know, Julian Gauthier, Brett Howden, Ryan Lindgren, Brendan Smith. I think is probably gone after this coming season.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, so they've got a lot of work to do just internally, even before they go out and get more players. But they've got the cap space to do it. So the Rangers are going to be dangerous next season.
So this is a question for the Ottawa fan.
Yeah, I love it.
Because this will be a tainted response from either of the Leaf fans. Do teams like Toronto and Tampa have an unfair advantage when it comes to signing players, in the sense of MLSE can give you a huge signing bonus, and Florida is a no tax state for players, right?
Yeah, that's right. They don't have a state income tax, so that definitely helps out.
Do they have an unfair advantage?
All is fair in love and war. You got to advertise what you have. Like, as a small market team that no one wants to play for, it does make it really frustrating whenever free agent comes around. And I know we're probably not going to get anyone because no one wants to play in Ottawa. But at the same time, like, if you have the money, if you have those advantages, then tough luck for everyone else. You use what you have, right? Like it's good business for teams like Toronto to use their wealth and teams like Tampa to use their tax situation to entice people to play for their organization. If you have it, flaunt it. Like there's for anyone getting upset about it, saying like, oh, it's an unfair this, it's that. It's like, no, it's not unfair. It's just that's how the world works. Don't forget, these are businesses. Businesses are going to take advantage of the situation. Just because someone else in your same field has a better situation than you doesn't mean it's unfair.
Yeah, the smaller market teams that can't offer players like a huge signing bonus like the Leafs or the Rangers can, they've got to find inefficiencies in other areas. So like the Senators, they've got to draft really, really well so that they've always got young players coming into the NHL roster on entry-level deals. Because then it's not as big of an issue when a player gets priced out of your team. So yeah, well, once a player gets to a certain point in their career and they get to cash in on a contract, then the Senators can't afford to pay them. But you know what? They've got like 2 or 3 guys that are on entry-level deals that can make up for those goals or points or wins or whatever you're looking for. It's the whole Moneyball idea, right? You just have to find undervalued players and you can be more successful that way. It's just tough for small market teams because, you know, if they're not able to spend on the ice, they're probably not able to spend a ton off the ice either. So it's going to be hard for them to hire a large group of scouting staff or, player development people. So it's just, they've got to work a lot harder to kind of get to the same point as the bigger spending teams. But that's also what the salary cap is supposed to do. It's supposed to say, the larger market teams, yeah, you can pay the skilled players all you want. You can give them huge contracts, but you're going to lose some other skilled players as well. And then that's where the smaller market teams are going to swing in and scoop those guys up.
I think if Pietrangelo does sign with Toronto, I think it'll be because of his for building his brand and not really for winning. Because Pietrangelo, St. Louis won the cup in 2019, so he's already done that. Another cup can't hurt, but
yeah.
He's cemented his legacy, and hey, he can now say I'm Stanley Cup champion Alex Pietrangelo.
Yeah.
And gold medal winning Alex Pietrangelo.
Gold medal and Stanley Cup champion Alex Pietrangelo. I think if he comes to Toronto, if Kyle Dubas has to bring up the point of, hey, if you join the Toronto Maple Leafs, you will be the most popular defenseman in the NHL, in the world.
Yeah.
Where that won't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, hey, like
Montreal.
The Leafs have retired Wendell Clark's jersey number, and he never even got to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. With most other franchises, like he would have been a fan favorite, and that's about it. But with the Leafs, he's a legend. So imagine what happens if you're like one of the best players on the team and they win a cup. Like, yeah, you're going to get a statue out on Legends Row. Like Matt Sundin has a statue out there. He never got to the Stanley Cup Final either.
He did.
It's a little different than Wendell Clark.
Yeah, he does have the franchise record in points, though.
Yeah, true, but still, not every team builds a statue for a guy that never won a Stanley Cup for them, that never won a scoring title. As much as I love Sundin and Clark, those were 2 of my favorite players growing up. But that
retired 13, have they?
Yes,
I don't think.
Yeah, they retired 13. Yeah.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they did because they had a bunch of guys that they had honored, and then a couple of years ago they retired most, if not all, of those honored.
They retired all of those.
I know they've honored jerseys, but like when you're a 100-year franchise, you start running out of jersey numbers.
Yeah, look at Montreal.
Yeah, I was gonna say look at Montreal. They've got no good numbers left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Like just going back to Petro, also like most great Canadian hockey players, he's from the Toronto area. He's from King City, which is just like 30 kilometers outside of Toronto.
But also, Toronto has the benefit of saying, yeah, Toronto, like London,
GTA.
Yeah, sure, Toronto.
Yeah, GTA is just the
everything
entire
that's
Southern
not
Ontario.
Ottawa is you're from Toronto.
Yeah,
in Ontario.
You're from Thunder Bay? That's close enough to Toronto.
Close enough. Yeah.
You've heard of the GTA. Just Ontario's got to just get changed to the GTA. There you go.
Yeah.
But no, like Petro going to the Leafs, as much I would hate that as a Sens fan and as a team that plays against you guys in that division, but it would be great because there's a handful of teams that make the league better when they are playing well. Montreal is one of them. Boston, the Rangers, like any of the original 6 is on them. Obviously, that includes Toronto.
Yeah.
So seeing Toronto succeed and seeing Toronto get a player like that is not only good for them, as much as I hate to say it, it's good for the league.
It's very good for the Senators if the Leafs go deep in the playoffs. Think of all of that revenue sharing money for Mr. Melnick.
Give it all to me.
Yeah.
I won't complain about that. Maybe we'll actually be able to pay our coaches what they actually are signed for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good. Okay, so for my last question, I want to hear your opinions because I love talking about jerseys. It's one of my favorite topics. Everyone likes talking about best jerseys. Best jerseys are fun. Best jerseys are good.
Ooh.
But they're very obvious. Best jerseys are very obvious.
Okay.
My favorite topic is worst jerseys.
Worst jerseys.
Worst.
So I want to
jerseys,
hear
okay.
your worst jersey from Toronto Maple Leafs and the worst jersey from the Ottawa Senators in all of history.
All right.
Okay. I'll start off with the Leafs. Worst jersey for the Leafs was the one that they wore like at the start of the Phil Kessel era, or like right after the 2004-2005 lockout. They came back with these jerseys that it was like that last Leafs logo right in the middle, a couple of armbands, nothing on the bottom. It looked like a practice jersey. It was awful.
Oh,
I have
that jersey.
Yeah, I have one of them because I think I got it like 75% off right before they put the bars back on the bottom. But that'll be my worst jersey for the Leafs. Yeah, it's bad. And for the Sens.
Oh, the Sens is easily the Sens jersey, the one that actually had Sens written on it.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I'm also just not a fan of the current look. I don't like the 3D logo. I don't like the jersey that it's on. I never liked it when they announced it in 2007 or whatever. It's always looked like a practice jersey. There needs to be like a couple lines on the bottom or something. I don't like the jerseys that just there's nothing on the bottom. It's like all underneath the arms and on the sleeves. Like you need to dress up the actual body part of the uniform before you can put things on the sleeves.
For Ottawa, for me, I don't know if you're wearing the jersey.
I'm wearing the white O jersey from their Heritage Classic.
Yeah, so Vancouver? The Heritage Classic versus Vancouver. I'm not a fan of that jersey. It's because, and I have a problem with like all jerseys that if you want to go white, choose white. Not cream.
Okay.
Don't go halfway.
That's fair.
Go all the way. Because it like white, I think on its own, like as a primary jersey, looks slick.
Yeah.
Cream,
not
a slick jersey. It fades in. It's not slick, you know.
It's not bright. It doesn't pop out like a white jersey does. It's more subtle. Yeah, like I like how that logo looks on a lighter jersey.
I love the logo.
Yeah, the logo is really nice, and the lines, the bars, and everything. Yeah, but if they if it was on like that bright white on there, that's great. But yeah,
number 7.
The cream on it is
Turris or Kachuk?
Kachuk.
Oh, nice.
Because it's not an actual jersey; it's a hoodie. It's a sweater that I got from an off-brand
cool
distributor. So this one is actually straight white. This isn't the cream color. Because this is what I was hoping this is what I was thinking their jerseys would be after the rebrand before the 2D logo was officially announced.
Or that was going to be the plan when Tom Anselmi was the president or CEO for 15 minutes. Because they were going to they were hinting towards a rebrand to the O logos as the primary one, but then when he was gone, they switched gears, and that's when it became the 2D.
Yeah. Well, what about Leafs? What's your worst Leaf jersey there, Jack?
Leafs. Okay, so I'm not a fan. I really like the St. Pat's jerseys. I think they look slick. I think that should be their alternate. not the ugly, ugly Toronto Arenas jersey.
Oh, you don't like the Toronto Arenas
I
jersey?
love the logo. I have a hat. I have a hoodie, or no, a toque with the Toronto Arenas logo. It's beautiful. I love the logo. The jersey, there is just way too many stripes, and there's just like you said, your least favorite one was the no stripes. There's just
Oh
way
yeah.
too many stripes on this one, and
That's fair.
it looks ugly. I think it kind of looks ugly, and I'm not a fan of it.
I like
the
the
Toronto
logo.
Aretinas is what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, the Aretinas
Yeah,
is
not
weird.
good.
But yeah, I can see that. I'm just looking at it now. I totally forgotten about what this jersey looked like, and yeah, with all of the lines down the sleeves, it is a lot,
It's kind of weird.
especially considering there's not that many lines on the actual on the body of the jersey. So if you could take like one or two of them off the sleeves and toss them down at the
Like
bottom,
it could look jersey.
yeah,
It could look good. I just think they.
See, I don't like the old 80s Leaf jersey that had the stripe coming from like the neck going down the arm all the way to the cuff. Like here. I don't know if you guys remember the ones I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
But it like the one I see now has Boris Salming on it. It's just it was a different design. They tried to do something different than what a lot of the teams in the league were doing. It's just I don't think it worked well because that's all it is. It's one stripe going from the top of the wrist on one side, up the arm, across the top of the shoulder, all the way down to the other cuff, and then one big stripe along the waist. It's just it's just I'm not a fan of that one. I've never really liked it, and it stands out in a bad way for all the other Leafs ones. And like I said before, the worst Sens jersey is the actual Sens jersey. That one just they tried their best. They tried their best to come up with a new third jersey to make it look nice, and it's just that didn't work. No. And then the Lightnings copied it with their bolts, and that was even worse.
Good.
Oh no!
I don't think it looks good. You don't like that?
I don't like any
of
the nickname. No, I don't like any of the nicknames on the fronts of the jerseys.
Really?
The Sens, Bolts, Canes. Like no, I don't. I don't like it.
You don't like the Canes? Oh, I love the Canes white jersey.
No,
I'm
with Jordan. I don't like the nicknames on the jerseys. That's not what the jersey's meant for.
That's fair.
Even like remember the old like Pittsburgh and New York jerseys where it's just like Pittsburgh or Penguins like it was their actual like not just good. Their name on a diagonal like that. I'm not a fan of, but I'd rather that than a freaking nickname on my jersey.
Yeah, if like the Penguins one said Pens on it, it's like okay, are they the Pittsburgh ballpoint pens? Are they the Pittsburgh fountain pens? Like what kind of pens are you? And with the Canes jersey, I like the jersey, but yeah, I just don't like that nickname thing down there. No. If it said Hurricanes on it or Carolina, that's a little bit different. You're just ripping off the Rangers, but yeah, especially with the Canes, if you put the Captain C or the alternate A on there, then you're throwing more letters on a jersey that already has a bunch of letters on it, and it looks kind of weird, especially considering how big those letters are.
Yeah.
I think the best thing with the Ottawa, like the Sens jersey is like overall consensus is not a good jersey. Not really good.
It's too busy.
There's very few people I know in Ottawa who don't have that jersey.
Yeah, same.
With the no name on the back.
I'm pretty sure I have that jersey.
There's not many people I know who don't have that jersey, which is like kind of ironic, but
yeah, everyone got it out of spite is what it was.
So thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us on, Jack.
So go check out the Little Hockey Podcast. You guys want to plug your Twitter and Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
I'll let you do that, Jordan.
Yeah, sounds good. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Little Hockey Pod, spelt exactly how it sounds, little as in small. And you can follow me and Keegan on Twitter. You'll find our handles in our Twitter bios. We post our episodes typically every Monday, depending on if we remember to record on the weekends. We've been kind of notoriously bad for forgetting about recording our podcast some weekends, but I will say we've got a really, really fun episode coming out tomorrow, so Monday. We had the guys from the Centennial podcast come on, and we had a really good, like, hour-and-a-half long chat with them about all things Senators coming up this week. So if there are any Sens fans listening, please go check that out, because they're really, really tuned into the team, and it gave us a lot of good insight into what to expect from the Senators coming up this week and this offseason.
Can't wait. Well, thank you guys so much. Coming up next, stay tuned for another segment of Hockey Talk with Owen O'Kane. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Blue Line Report. I am joined by Owen O'Kane for another segment of Hockey Talk. We are currently recording during the first round of the playoffs. It is currently the 18th pick. New Jersey's on the clock, so we will be giving you live updates at that. It's not really live, so you already know, but hey, we're finding out as this goes along. Marc Bergeron's. I think he's just getting interviewed. I have the game, or I have the coverage right over there on that side. Hey, Owen, how's it going?
Hey, Jack, how's it going?
I couldn't be better, bud. As a Leafs fan who's not necessarily a fan of Ottawa, let's talk about Jake Sanderson. 5th overall. So how it's gone so far is Alexi Lafreniere going to New York, obvious pick. Oh, and by the way, for anybody knowing, we will be making a draft results video. We're either posting this the Tuesday night, so tonight, or tomorrow night. So I don't know. Like, you're either posting this Tuesday or Wednesday. So if we're Wednesday, hey, we posted twice today. But if this is Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, we will have an episode with full draft recap. It'll be great. I can't wait. It'll be fun. So
Amazing.
Stay tuned for that. I mean, you can go check that out if you want, but finish listening to that. Hope you enjoyed the interview. I really had a great time with the Little Hockey Podcast. They were a very fun interview. Let's get to this draft. Number 1, Lafreniere, the consensus number 1 pick. Byfield, not really consensus, but it was obvious it was going to Byfield. And Stutzla or Stetzel, however you want to say it. Ottawa took him. Oh, a pick is in. New Jersey Devils have selected Dawson Mercer.
That's a good pick.
That is a good pick. I like him for Canada.
Surprised he fell that
So
late
at number 4, they took Lucas Raymond. That's to the Detroit Red Wings. And then number 5 happened. Owen, do you want to explain who the Ottawa Senators took at number 5?
Well, at number 5, I had Jamie Drysdale, which I'm pretty sure everyone had.
I actually had Rozzy at 5 just because I figured that hometown thing. And Jack Quinn went before Rozzy, but we'll get to that. So Jake Sanderson was taken. The consensus 11th overall pick.
I had him 11.
Was taken at 5. What is Ottawa doing with this pick? I have no clue. Like, I get if they want to bring defense in. But if you want to say bring defense in, bring newly Anaheim Duck, Jamie Drysdale.
He's Canadian too.
Yeah, but doesn't matter what his nationality is. He is the consensus best defenseman in this draft class. And he didn't go first. Ottawa has been known to go off the board sometimes, but nothing like this. I was talking with one of my diehard Sens fan friends. I'm talking to him. I'm like, my analogy that I used was golf, and I just said the 3rd overall pick was a 2-foot putt. They made that. The 5th overall pick was a 3-foot putt. They missed by 3 meters. I don't know how you do this. How does Ottawa has a chance to draft If they wanted to go defenseman, that's fine. I would have gone with a forward like Cole Perfetti, who ended up in Winnipeg.
Which is a very good pick for Winnipeg.
Yeah,
to snatch him
Winnipeg's
then.
counting their lucky stars that they got him so low. But I would have taken Rossi. I would have taken Jack Quinn over Sanderson.
Like,
But so like you got players like Lundell, Holtz, Jamie Drysdale. He's a big one. Rossi, Profetti. You had so many more great players. Askarov. You could have taken Askarov. If you wanted to go off the board, take Askarov, not Sanderson. Don't try to be and take Sanderson. What is Ottawa thinking?
Ottawa screwed up on that pick.
Ottawa 100% screwed up on this pick.
Obviously, they saw something in him for them to.
I'm still laughing. I don't think they saw anything. They're just like, yeah, let's take the word. Let's make the most Ottawa pick possible, and they chose Jake Sanderson. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say more. It's just, and again, this is nothing against Jake Sanderson. He's a great player. I wish him all the best in Ottawa. But at number 5, that's like.
At that point, they were still Askarov, Lundell, Quinn, Holtz, Rossi. Way better players.
Eddie, like, this class was stacked. You had the chance to choose from anybody. And you chose you didn't choose Drysdale. You chose Sanderson. I just pulled up the Ottawa Senators posted, they have that little post of Jake Sanderson sends draft him. So these are the comments. So I'm just going to go read them. Hopefully, I haven't really screened these, so I'm just going to be skipping over some that are a little inappropriate for our listeners, but let's go. Ottawa could have picked anyone, and you would have all been mad still. That's fair. I feel like the population would still, if you're a hockey fan, anyone who Ottawa takes, you're like, you could have had this guy. And I agreed to that to a point. Like, if you would have chose Rossi, oh my God, you didn't choose Drysdale or Perfetti. If you chose Perfetti, oh my God, you didn't choose Drysdale or Rossi. If you chose Drysdale, it's Rossi or Perfetti. So I get to that point, but nothing like Jake Sanderson.
That's not.
So I don't know.
I think Ottawa could have taken
like for Drysdale. People got to stop complaining. This is a good pick. Good job, Ottawa. Is it though? This is I don't know.
You could tell that's some guy who just cheers for the Sens and just supports everything they do.
When we miss out on Rossi, the 3 crying emojis. That I love Marco Rossi as a Ottawa native, born person in Ottawa. Both of us actually. We have gotten to trade. We have a trade to announce. The Flames have traded the 19th overall pick to the New York Rangers for the 22nd overall and the 72nd overall pick. So New York is on the clock, taking Calgary's pick. That's New York obviously sees a guy that they want, and they're gonna try to capitalize on him. So New York obviously wants this player. I'm happy.
I want to see who it is.
We'll see who it is. We'll have that. But let's back to Jake Sanderson. Let's go to the comment section. We're gonna look back on this draft and regret this one. I don't think you have to look back. The moment it was announced, you're gonna regret this one. Again, I hope all the best for Sanderson, but there was because Marco Rossi, Jamie Drysdale, and Cole Perfetti were still on the board. Obviously, does Ottawa see something in him? Ottawa has to see something in him.
To take him 5th, watch Jake Sanderson next year score like 50 points in his debut in his first season and prove everyone wrong.
Yeah, prove everyone wrong. It's the greatest pick of all time.
Yeah.
I hope that happens. So
You're a
Jake
Leafs
Sanderson,
fan.
we'll dive in more. We'll dive in more tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Let's go to the Ottawa 67's dilemma in Jack Quinn going ahead of Marco Rossi. What are your thoughts as the Ottawa 67's expert you are?
Well, I had Rossi going 6th to the Ducks and Drysdale going 5th. And then I had Quinn going I think I had Quinn going 10th. So
Okay.
for him to go before Rossi was kind of surprising, to be honest.
Jack Quinn, he led the 67th in goals and great player.
I just think overall Rossi's a better player
Overall,
right now.
Rossi scored 120, 130 something points. He led the OHL in points. He's and Marco Rossi's gonna be amazing. I don't care about size. People are like it's his size. No, it shouldn't be. Players like Mitch Marner and stuff are proven that hey, you don't need size. If you have enough skill, you can make it in this league. And Marco Rossi seems to have all the skill in the world, yet who drafted Quinn again?
Quinn went to at 8. I think it was. It wasn't.
I can
8. It wasn't Minnesota. I know Minnesota took Rossi. So at 8, it must have been.
Who was 7 then?
7 was Holtz. So it must. Here, I'll look it up. I'm blanking on this one.
Blanking on that one. It happened 20 minutes or no.
Already blanking
really
on it.
long. I told our producer, I'm like, so our producer is not really a hockey guy, but he edits our videos. Shout out Nathan. We really appreciate you, man. I know you're listening to this because you're recording the podcast, so
Buffalo.
or you're either in the editing phase. So, hey, buddy, we really appreciate you. Braden, New York chose Braden Schneider. Wow.
It was Buffalo.
That's who I wanted Toronto to pick because he's a big 6'2", and he's I think he's only 18, so he's probably, let's say, 6'3". He's going to cap out at. He's a big right-handed shot defenseman. I was a little sad that we missed out on this guy, but, hey.
The 8th pick
Schneider's going to be a good 8th pick was...
It was Buffalo.
Did Buffalo choose Quinn?
Yeah, it went Lafreniere, Byfield, Stutzel, Raymond, Sanderson, Drysdale, Holtz, Quinn, Rossi, Perfetti, Askarov,
Buffalo pulled a Buffalo here. We're talking about Ottawa pulling a Ottawa. This is Buffalo pulling a Buffalo. Jack Quinn's a great player. Not the guy I'd want to surround. You don't Buffalo, what are you doing? If you wanted to choose an Ottawa 67, this was the wrong guy to do it. You should have chosen Rossi because Rossi's the assist guy. He's the playmaker. He's the setup guy.
He'd be good with Eichel.
You know who's the scoring guy on Buffalo?
Eichel.
Jack flippin' Eichel. Jack flippin' Eichel needs a passer. He needs a playmaker. He needs a skilled center who can play wing because Marco Rossi will play wing in this league. He's not big enough for center, but that's okay because he's going to be a right wing or left wing. He's the left-handed shot. So
I had Buffalo taking Askarov on this one.
Really?
Yeah,
I had Carolina picking Askarov, but I'm not surprised. Oh, they just showed Braden Schneider wearing a Leafs jersey. So basically, I was just going through the whole draft.
Wow.
All the guys from the GTA, he'll be he'll sign with the Leafs in 10 years, 4 years, 3 years, 10 years. We'll sign you at the end of his contract. Like
Just like
Pietrangelo.
Tavares.
Yeah, exactly. And is Pietrangelo going to come to Toronto?
And
We
I mean,
didn't take Braden Schneider. So
if they offer him enough money, I think he'll probably want to go because it's a contender. But like,
and it's Toronto.
I really
Like,
can't. I really don't see him going there. I see him going to Colorado.
This isn't me being like full-headed or anything. This is just me being completely honest. Like, at the end of the day, Pietrangelo's won his cup.
Yeah.
If he goes to Toronto, he'll be the biggest defenseman or the most popular defenseman in the NHL. That's just going to be a fact. Because Toronto's the biggest market. Montreal is when they're really winning. Toronto is all the time. Montreal's a really close second, but Toronto's the big market because we're just Toronto. So, hey, I think they have to say, hey, we're Toronto. We'll make you the biggest defenseman in the world before you leave. We'll give you all the contract sponsorships. We're MLSE. We can give you a massive signing bonus. Because MLSE is just a pool of money. So,
I could probably see him going there. I could see him going to Colorado too if they offer him money. Like, you never know what's gonna happen this year in free agency.
Yeah. Well, how about we wrap it up for tonight because we have a really big episode, fun episode. We have a 1-hour episode, so Owen's really excited about it. I can see the look on his face.
Oh yeah.
But we have a 1-hour episode tomorrow. I know I expected the Little Hockey Podcast to go a little shorter, like 30, 40 minutes. But it went an hour because those guys were so fun to talk with. I had a blast of a time. And, we just wanted to record a little segment just during the draft. And, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Watch our new episode. It's probably out right now if you're listening to this. But, go check it out. Enjoy it. We break down the whole NHL draft, and we talk about the 20th pick, which has still not been made yet. So we'll see you then. I'm Jack Bailey. This is Owen O'Kane. This has been another segment of Hockey Talk. Go follow us on Instagram, @blue_line_report. It's 9:30. I'm tired. And follow our Twitter @BlueLineWithJB. We'll see you next. Go check out our new episode. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.